99.1 FM CKXS. It's time for the All About Real Estate show. And today, a special segment for you. We're going on a field trip. So Pete Allaer has organized a field trip for us all. I feel like you're my school teacher today, Pete.
Yes, that's right. I'm in charge.
Okay. Do I have to call you Mr. Allaer for the rest of the day?
Yeah, actually, you should do that every week.
So we're actually driving, and as a special guest to the show, we welcome our Mayor Darrin Canniff, who's joining us on the field trip today. How you doing, Darrin?
Fantastic. I love field trips.
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm so thrilled to be part of this field trip. We got a great driver here in Pete. He's taking us around.
Yeah, so maybe walk us through what's the plan today, Pete. So we're doing this field trip with intent and a good purpose in mind. I think helping Darrin a little bit understand exactly where Wallaceburg is that kind of the goal?
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank Darrin for taking time out of his busy schedule. It means a lot to me that he has come down here to see us and to spend some time with us. So I appreciate it very much, Darrin. You've been great. I think you've been great for Chatham-Kent, and I've talked to you and reached out to you more than once, and you're always there to help, and that's what I appreciate about Darrin. So yeah, one of our ideas here is, of course, it's all about real estate. So I thought, you know what, come on down. I mean, we would really like to promote some development here, both residential and also industrial development, but for sure residential development. So the idea is to just drive around and look at some land that possibly could be developed and just talk about what can we do to try and push it along.
Okay, so we're going to go make a couple of stops, and we'll talk about those places that we're going to be going to, and then chat some more with Darrin Canniff and Pete Allaer all about real estate today. We're going to do this in a few segments, so I'll take a break right now. Let's play a song, and then we'll chat some more about the first stop that we're making here in Wallaceburg. It's the All About Real Estate show on 99.1 FM CKXS. All right, we're back again with the All About Real Estate show. Pete Allaer, Darrin Canniff joining us together here as we talk a little bit about real estate. So, Pete, we've moved into the Brunsma area. So let's talk about the Brunsma area. It's a subdivision here in Wallaceburg. What would you like to see happen here? Then we can talk to Darrin a little bit about possibilities as well.
Well, in the back end of Brunsma here, we've got a possibility of about 100 homes that could be built. And the nice part about it is, it's sort of like, I look at it as being a little bit of like cherry picking because it's right here. The streets going back are right here, ready to go. You don't need to do that much more to continue them. You got a subdivision where you have nice larger family homes. You've got some one-floor homes. You've got some semis, and so it's a variety of things could be done here. It could cover a lot of what we need here in town, right? Is kind of a variety of homes.
I would say, for those that don't know what Brunsma looks like, if I was to compare it something to Chatham, would be like a Prestantia, maybe an older Prestantia, Darrin, would you say?
I would say this is a beautiful neighborhood, and it's just screaming to be developed as we drive along here and see a road that just stops and goes into a field.
Yeah.
And I see houses here and lots of them.
Yeah. So what's the acreage here then, Pete? What's back here behind Brunsma?
So right around in here that hasn't been developed, there's roughly, I'm going to say 20 to 25 acres here. I had a quick look at it today, and like I say, there's room for about roughly 100 homes back here. So just imagine if, let's say spring of 2021, this was opened up and even if we did it in a couple stages, all of a sudden we had, 25 homes being built back here. That would be huge for the town of Wallaceburg, because we have no development going on. We have nothing being built, yet we have the appetite for it. I've reached out to lots of different developers, investors, buyers, sellers, you name it, and the appetite is here. We finally are at a stage in town where people would buy a new home because the prices have gone up. Right. So now it sometimes makes sense for someone. Hey, you know what? I'd buy a new home.
Right.
The resale homes it was always hard to build a house because the resale homes were less money. Now the resale homes have gone up. We got more and more people coming into Chatham-Kent. Wallaceburg, I'm finding Wallaceburg is popular with the Sarnia people. Some of the younger operators that are working up there, are from the Wallaceburg area. They don't want to leave. They want to stay here and just boot her up the 40 highway and to work, right? We're
So-
25 minutes away.
Let me jump in here. So then, Mayor, what the elephant in the room is, how come? How come we're not developing then these areas behind Bruinsma?
Well, it's certainly something the municipality would love to see. We want to see development going across Chatham-Kent, and Wallaceburg is ripe for development. So whatever the municipality can do, we've been as well reaching out to people and saying, hey, there's this property here, let's develop it. The key there is linking the landowners to the developers to the builders. You got to get to bring those three together. If there was 50 new homes here tomorrow, I'm certain they'd be sold in 3 months or less.
Agreed. I mean, you're hearing the same thing. You've got people, you're hearing from people who want to build, you're hearing people that want to invest into Chatham-Kent and build.
Yes. So all three of those pieces, we need to put them together. So collectively, we're relying on the market itself to do that. As a municipality, we will do whatever we can. So if you're a developer, if you're a builder, if you're a landowner and want to get something moving, call the municipality. We will put people on it to make sure to link those together to get this going, because there's such potential here in Wallaceburg.
Yeah, this is a good little spot here. This Bruinsma area would be ideal for a new subdivision. We'll talk more coming up. We're on a field trip today. It's the All About Real Estate show on the road with Mayor Darrin Canniff and Pete Allaer today on 99.1 CKXS. 99.1 FM CKXS. We continue on the field trip today. We're on the road with Riverside Realty. Pete Allaer is our host today. He's doing the driving. Darrin and I are doing the sitting and watching and actually learning a little bit too about some of the properties available here. Let's talk about properties, Darrin. If someone's interested, they want to build, they want to, maybe it's an addition. Let's talk about that part too, right? I mean, how do you do it? What's the best way to go about to take those next steps if you live in Chatham-Kent and you want to start building?
Well, a lot of people have no idea what the process is, so that's what stops a lot of people from wanting to go out and do something, is that all those processes. I would very much encourage, if anybody wants to build anywhere, do an addition, build, call 311. It's a recent number that we put in that reaches out to the municipality and just say, I need to talk to the planning department. I want to build something. We've been working very hard on a concierge service that will take those individuals and help walk them through all of the processes that need to be done. There's a lot of provincial regulations, a lot of regulations out there, and it scares people. We want to take that fear away from them and say, wow, this was a relatively easy process to build. That's what we want to see across the municipality. As I'm looking at this property here, this screams for that.
Yeah, so let's talk about this property that Darrin's referring to here, Pete. This is the W.T. Lang property, right?
Yeah, so it's we still call it W.T. Lang because of course it was the public school that closed.
And you know what? I'm going to jump in here and I'll say it. I hate this property. I walk by here all the time. It's an eyesore to me. It bothers me that this is in the middle of our town and we're not doing anything with it. It drives me crazy.
I hear you, and that's why I look at it and think this would be another perfect opportunity here. It's not huge, but it's definitely big enough that
so much potential.
Yeah, and we are literally a stone's throw from the downtown. So you know, for people that want to live close to downtown, they can walk places. It's a perfect spot. You got houses all the way around it. I forget the acreage we have here, but I think at one time I figured out you could easily put 30 to 40 homes here. You could put affordable housing here. You could put semis. You could put single families. You know, you could maybe put a fourplex or whatever the need would be. And again, like Mayor Canniff said earlier, you know, the demand is here for people to buy homes. And
so what's holding us up then? What's the why aren't we developing this then?
Well, basically, from what I understand, is the two properties we've looked at so far. It's privately owned land, and the people that own it, of course, it's their land. So they have the right to do with it what they would like. And
are they just not engaged? Is the price not right? What's the reasoning there, Pete? What do you hear? And you're speculating, so you know I'm not going to hold you to it, but we are talking about it on the radio.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just comes down to you know. Some people they own land and it's a great thing to own. Real estate's a great thing to own, and you know maybe certain sellers think, hey, you know what, I own that land. It's not costing me much in taxes to hold it. I'm just holding it, and maybe someday I'll do something with it. Maybe I won't. You know, maybe I'll build someday. So it's really the motivation of the owners to either develop it.
We have the biggest motivator sitting in the car seat with us here. So what do we got to do to motivate it? What's the step, Darrin, do you think that we can do, or what you can do, or the municipality can?
Well, I think when we look at the overall environment, this is the time to do it. You get stock markets that go up and down. Land is at a premium right now. Development, people want to locate here in Chatham-Kent. I can't guarantee that's going to happen forever. I see in the next few years, people want to locate here for a lot of reasons. So this is the opportunity, if you're a landowner, to start developing it, because it's prime. You put that message out, people will be in here and developing this land. This is prime land. When you look at utilities are here, roads all the way around it. This is something the municipality wants to do, infill. We've got property right here that's screaming for development, but it's those things. So the owners have to realize that this is the time to take advantage of the market and get out and start developing.
Is it something that you can do tax-wise to say that if you don't develop a property in a certain amount of time that the taxes go up, that people just don't sit on it? Is there some sort of subsidy that you can do to encourage the sale of property to happen so that we don't just sit on something like that? Is that a possibility?
Oh, possibilities are endless as far as what we can try and do. Right now, there's no penalties to say if you're sitting on empty land, as long as you're paying your property taxes. Recently, we got rid of tax incentives for empty buildings, empty commercial buildings. They used to get a tax break. We said, no, we don't want that. So certainly, I want to encourage the people that have the land. If they don't have a plan for it, this is the opportunity to start developing, because I see these huge opportunities here in Wallaceburg and across Chatham-Kent to develop. I see literally thousands more homes being located here in the next few years.
Yeah, well, I hope you're right too.
The other thing that I think is important for Chatham-Kent, I mean, we sell residential homes to, like I said, we're up to probably 50%. 50% of what we sell now are out-of-town people. And the one complaint out-of-town people have is how much our property taxes are in comparison to where they came from. But I look at an opportunity like this and I say, well, here's a perfect opportunity where you don't have to raise the people's taxes across the street here. You can generate new taxes. We can generate, let's say there were 40 new homes built here at even $2,000 a home, let's say, right? Or $2,500 a home. So we've just gone through, we're up to roughly 125 to 150, call it, new homes of land that we just saw, times $2,500 a home. So I look at it as an opportunity to generate new revenues for the municipality and not have to raise the current homes taxes to make up for the extra money.
And that's exactly why I want this growth strategy. When we see people coming in, it will help keep property taxes down. But the other big benefit is with people located in Wallaceburg, the businesses here have more customers. The downtown becomes more vibrant. There's all those other things that happen as more people come to the community. They want to come here. Housing is the issue, period. End of story. If we had 10,000 more houses, I think we would sell a lot of them, or if not all of them, over the next period of time, because we are a hot location right now because of a lot of different things. So this is the opportunity. As landowners, this is your time.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk more. It's the All About Real Estate show, the field trip version today on the road with 99.1 FM CKXS. 99.1 FM CKXS. We continue on our field trip with Riverside Realty. We've been touring around Wallaceburg. I got Mayor Darrin Canniff with me, Pete Allaer, who is hosting our real estate show. So before we talk to Pete, we're over here, by the way, on the south side of the Sydenham River. And this is a property that I think we're all salivating on to see something happen with someday. Mayor Darrin Canniff, you see this property, and what goes on in your mind?
I see this property. What a beautiful view. I can't imagine too many people in this entire province that wouldn't want to live here.
Yeah.
And it's so close to downtown. I would love to see this developed. That's why we've got we're looking for the public to comment on what they think should be done with this. But I see a lot of people living here. What is a larger complex, a nice complex living right on the river. Who would want to live here?
Yeah.
But I would love to see this develop sooner rather than later.
So the possibility here would be like maybe apartment complex. Like this would be great to have a lot of people living close to the water here. And there's some incentive out there by the municipality, right?
Yes. Currently, we have an incentive put out for anyone that wants to develop an apartment complex of 50 or more. We're offering, if they do it in the next year and a half, 10 years tax free. So it's a huge incentive to level the playing field. If developers are looking to develop in Toronto or here, it really helps level the playing field to say, I want to invest in here. Because I think that would sell out real fast. People right on the river, how beautiful is this? But so not only that, but we offer some reductions in development charges and things as an incentive to develop in Chatham-Kent. We've already seen that working, and there's a number of complexes being built throughout Chatham-Kent already that are based on the program. But what a perfect opportunity for here in Wallaceburg.
Yeah, for sure. You're kind of nodding your head here, Pete. Yeah, I'm guessing you're thinking the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think back, it was probably 7 or 8 years ago, I had a developer from Windsor, and he came down, and him and I walked along the boardwalk here from the walking bridge basically right to Murray Street, and we stopped at the Forks. And he stood at the Forks and he looked north, and he honestly, and this guy's a developer from Windsor, so he's a total unbiased opinion here, right? He looked at that, and he looked at me and he said, "I can't believe what I'm seeing." And I said, "What do you mean?" And of course back then it's looking better today here because there's been some derelict buildings gone, and it's been cleaned up some, but at that time 7 or 8 years ago, it looked pretty, like there was old trailers sitting here. He turned around, he looked at it, and he just said, what's going on here? He said, "I can't believe what I'm looking at." He said, I'm looking at probably one of the nicest views. His comment was, he said, like, "I would kill for this in Windsor." He goes, "I can't believe why it's not being developed." And that's why I had him down, just to get his idea of what he thought, So I agree 100% with Mayor Canniff. I mean, we would love to see this move forward. Very, very happy that the municipality has engaged the secondary plan. These are the kind of things I think we need from the municipality. We need the municipality to look at, all right, what lands around, and we'll call it Wallaceburg, but all of Chatham-Kent, what lands are no longer zoned the way they should be. Right. So at one time, I mean, I'm told at one time that Navistar used to drive their trucks to this location here where we're sitting and load boats. They drove the trucks up on the boats. There was a loading dock here for the trucks. I'm told at one time years ago, the logs, like all the logs from all around the area came here on ships and got taken off and sent to mills. Well, I mean, let's face it, those times are over. So what's the best possible use for this land? And just because it's not zoned properly, because it was zoned 100 years ago, let's look at those things and say, how can we rezone things to make more sense for 2021, right?
And you're agreeing, Darrin?
100% agree that we're looking at overall the municipality, what is everything zoned? We're going through a whole process to review that, and we want to make sure that the property now is zoned the way it should be, to promote development, because that's why I don't want somebody coming in saying, "Oh, well, it's not zoned properly, I don't want to develop it." Then let's work with them, going back to our earlier discussion about, we'll work with you as a developer to get it zoned properly, all those things, walk through the steps to do it, because this is prime opportunity to be redeveloped. And what a wonderful addition for Wallaceburg it would be if something like this was put here.
Yeah, agreed. All right, there you go. Does that wrap up the show today there, Pete? Are we done?
I think we're at the end destination. I think, again, I want to thank Mayor Canniff for coming out, spending some time with us. It's been a great little trip, and I'm very encouraged with the attitude of the municipality, and I think we're, the population of Wallaceburg can rest assured that we've got the right people in place, and I'm pushing forward and fighting for this every day, that we keep moving forward, and I will pledge to the people of Wallaceburg that, I'll stay on this. I'll keep pushing. I'll get the right people involved so that we can get things going. And I think it's needed. So I'm really looking forward to what the rest of 2020 and 2021 brings. I'm really happy about the secondary plan. I think that's going to be huge for our town, and it'll allow better development and easier development.
All right, Darrin, anything else before we go?
I just want to encourage, if you're a landowner or a developer and you are at all interested in developing in Chatham-Kent, please reach out to Chatham-Kent. We will be happy to help you do whatever it takes to get development going.
All right. The only thing I'm disappointed with is that I left my lunchbox at one of the locations that we stopped at on the field trip today, and I think I'm about to miss my school bus. But other than that, the trip has been very successful and very informative too, and hopefully you've learned a little bit at home as well here on the All About Real Estate show today here on 99.1 FM CKXS.